What I need now is NUKE. Let's fire up NUKE. If you can follow doing this with me as well, or you can just see what's going on here and then try that later on. So what I import into NUKE is, so you can find all the data that I'm talking about today is in this K drive, Hossein, VFX, and camera projection tutorial. So let's rename this. I call this city and that one lake. And let's move this into projection, and I move this into something called matte painting. Well, I assume that you did this matte painting inside Photoshop. So these two are just simple matte paintings. So for the city, if you see such a weird thing when you load a PNG file, it happens, just add a pre-multiply node. So the city and the lake. And they are supposed to be added on top of this footage. So let's call that, I'm going to copy and paste it here. I call it Old City Aerial. Okay, if I add, so I add these two on top of each other, and then I will add the result on the old city. So let's look at one. They are there, but they don't work on every frame. It seems that there is just one single frame that they match, and that's frame 74. Why I have chosen frame 74? When you're working on a shot that has camera movement, it's better to grab one frame from the middle, because that's the one that has everything inside that, especially if the camera starts from somewhere and ends up somewhere else. So a frame in the middle has the most amount of data that you need. So I selected frame 74 and I exported the frame 74 to Photoshop, and I painted over that. So you know how to do this simple stamp painting inside Photoshop. So you just have to keep a couple of references, steal from them, do a collage, and then clean up around it, and then add it on your shot. Now, so let's set up. First thing first, set up your NUKE project. I hold Alt and close all of this. I press S and I say I need just 150 frames, and this one is an HD 1080p project. That's good. What we are going to do for camera projection, we need a 3D element. Not a complex one, but a fairly normal one, easy one, you know, an approximation of this hill. I need a 3D mesh here. So inside Maya, so make a camera that looks like that one. The camera that has been used in this shot, the drone camera, is a 12mm camera. How I know that? I asked the cinematographer. So you should record the lens data and sensor size on site as a visual effects supervisor. That's why they hire you. So I look through the lens and I go view image plane, import image, and let's point to that place. So let's grab one single frame. I don't have the image sequence, so I just grab from here. So I worked on frame 74. So what you have to do is to just make an object here that looks like, so you just have to do a proper perspective like that and build up a hill. So I already have made something inside NUKE. So just simply, it's just, you just have to add a plane. Let's drag back. Make it more complex. Move vertices or sculpt it. Grab some parts, move it around. For the spots that you need to add houses, you may put some boxes for the houses. I just did a simple. So this is the mesh that I use for these shots actually. So let me turn off the grid. It's so annoying. Yeah, kind of like that. That one might work for me. It covers the whole hill, and it has some complexity in some areas. Actually, I have to add some more complexity here. And then I might add some bumps around here. I didn't do that for the project. So, and then you go and file, export, selection, and you can export it as OBJ or as FBX. If you don't see OBJ format down there, you just go file, setting and preferences, plugin manager, and you make sure that this object export down here is ticked. So inside NUKE, how I can bring it, I just press R, that stands for reading. I go into that folder, NUKE, heal mesh, and it reads that mesh for me. How can I figure out it's been loaded? You know that inside your viewer, when you press tab, it goes into 3D environment. So the mesh is there. Oh, I rotated that. Let me